patrickcc. The brutal humiliation of a mid-tier comedian.
This stand-up comedian is being humiliated in front of the entire world and does not know how to make it stop. Akaash Singh is mostly known as being the sidekick to Andrew Schulz on the Flagrant podcast. His wife Jasleen recently started creating content that many feel is shocking or distasteful coming from a married woman.
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for college. So for context, I went to college from 2011 to 2016. I was popping my and living my best life in these white boy frat houses, and I had a roster of guys that I would rotate.
This is not a two-way street. This is a one-way street. His money is our money, and my money is my money.
And if you think those clips are
Jesus cried for us. Oh my goodness.
Are bad, trust me, it gets so much worse. Like when she expressed how badly she wanted to sleep with her co-host's husband.
Would y'all ever have an orgy together with your husbands? Priya,
She tried.
I'm actively trying to have an orgy because this couple is so good looking, and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you fucking see him.
Maybe.
I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches.
You would only
Whoa! What the fuck?
be down for an orgy if
Or
we give
it's
it.
thick. It's thick.
Jasleen regularly romanticizes sleeping
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, bro. I don't know who this guy is, but bro, she gotta go. Yo, your wife should not be talking about this type of shit, bro. Not gonna lie to you, bro. Your wife should never be speaking like this, bro. Because it's the same breath, bro. In the same breath, your husband should never be speaking about shit like this publicly too. In general. How would you imagine your husband, imagine your husband is on a show and he's talking about wanting to have an orgy with a bunch of other women and then talking about how wet their shit must be, how big their titty. Like, bro, what the fuck?
with other men, films her arguments with Akaash to post on TikTok, brags about being a gold digger, and actively refuses to kiss her husband in public, not even
nigga, she gots to go.
during his proposal. This is the type of relationship refuses to kiss her husband in public, not even during
This was the proposal and she
his
didn't even
proposal.
kiss him?
This is the type of relationship that 99% of you watching pray you will never find yourself in. But anyone who criticizes Jasleen and the potential harmful influence she may have on couples, she calls them incel red pillars. Then again, it's somewhat understandable considering sometimes the right message can come from the wrong messenger.
person.
Because Akaash was actually warned by the Fresh and Fit
Oh, man. You know, I'm not gonna lie. I can't blame Akaash for not taking advice from this nigga. Y'all, if y'all watch the channel enough, y'all know how I feel about him. I'm not gonna repeat it, but y'all know how I feel about him. This nigga here, I couldn't care less. He's really just more of like a, you know what I'm saying? But this nigga here,
podcast that he was going to find himself in this exact type of situation. In the early 2020s, there was a digital uprising of self-proclaimed alpha males who claimed their traditional views of masculinity were directly conflicting with mainstream liberal ideologies. Guys like Myron and Walter Weeks of the Fresh and Fit podcast got viral attention talking about traditional gender roles, relationship dynamics, and what being a real man is. And even though Akaash and Andrew host a comedy podcast, they often dabble in more serious, broader social commentary, which led to them inviting on the Fresh and Fit guys to discuss some of their views on masculinity and relationships, many of which Akaash disagreed with. He was particularly bothered by this phrase or relationship philosophy that Fresh and Fit used that said, pimp or be pimped.
One person in the relationship, whoever cares less has the leverage, and we want the guy to always care less. We want the man to always have the leverage.
Childish as
And you guys might not like hearing that.
Childish.
But we truly feel.
I'm not. These aren't new beliefs, bro. You're not telling me some none of us have ever heard. We all heard this from fraternity guys in college. I'm saying there's room in and I don't have a problem with a lot of the stuff you say. I just think there is room for growth. And you guys' refusal to acknowledge it almost kind of proves it to me, confirms it to me that you guys are not willing to grow right now. And that's fine. That's some ego shit.
Throughout the pod, Andrew seemed to have no problem having a serious, calm conversation about someone else's
this nigga low-key crashing out, but at the same time I understand it because it's like, bro, what the fuck is wrong with this nigga?
worldview despite not fully agreeing with it. But Akaash was clearly much more upset with what they were saying. Most of the podcast, it didn't feel like he was listening, but rather just waiting for his turn to speak and assert his own personal philosophy on dating. However, Fresh and Fit were mostly known to say outlandish and straight up disrespectful things about women on a regular basis.
Exactly.
So most people naturally sided with Akaash's view of equity and equality in relationships, as well as understood his general frustration towards these guys. What we would later discover is that the reality of Akaash's own personal relationship reflected the exact situation that Fresh and Fit were trying to warn him about. But before we dive deeper, I want to talk about one of the most disturbing industries in America, data brokers. They provide reports like this that have information about you, including cast would trade shots at each other over the next few years, but tensions reached a boiling point when Myron of the Fresh and Fit podcast called out Akaash and his wife Jasleen. He tweeted, "Akaash Singh tried to lecture me about women years ago. Here's his wife making a mockery of him and herself on a podcast." And linked below was a full episode of the Main Character podcast hosted by Jasleen Singh.
I'm about to cook him and her like curry when I get back to Miami. Okay, I can't lie, that was kind of funny. All right,
her friend
all right, you got it, Myron. You made me laugh one fucking time, bro.
Mawani. The women described their podcast as unfiltered girl talk and sells itself as being for the ones who live life like the plot revolves around them, because it does. This description on the surface is relatively harmless, but once you take a closer look at the podcast itself, you see that this description is extremely accurate. Two women who think they're the main characters of the world talking about themselves with absolutely no filter. One comment that stood out in this episode was where Jasleen discusses her and her husband's finances.
Man that doesn't want to have a joint bank account or isn't being transparent with his accounts or has separate accounts, that's a red flag. And I will say it again because I know that
it's not a red flag. Me and my girl have an agreement that we're never getting a joint account. We might have an account that we both put money into to pay the bills. I guess you can call that a joint account, but we're not getting joint accounts. This was actually her idea, by the way. This was her idea, by the way. So that's not a red flag. So sorry, bitch.
it's gonna be
Sorry.
already like incel troll mother. This is not a two-way street. This is a one-way street. His money is our money, and my money is my money. And look, have I only made $600 from content creating?
Wow, I went up $100 from last week.
But that's my money, okay? So just so we're clear, no, that's actually a red flag, because I know so many girls in my life personally that have been with guys that weren't transparent about money, and they ended up being terrible in other aspects, and like people ended up breaking up in divorces, et cetera, et cetera. So that is actually my number one. They must be generous with their finances from day one.
For context, Jasleen is
Oh my lord, bro. Yo. Akaash, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. You wifed a sorority girl, bro. You wifed up a sorority girl, bro. I'm not even gonna disrespect someone else's wife, but that's where I'm gonna leave it at, bro. You wifed up a sorority girl, bro.
Is not a celebrity by any means. She does not have a job of her own and has only been able to build her internet following thanks to her husband supplementing her lifestyle. And this is not a dig at her at all. She talks about this a lot in her content, and some even think she brags about it.
Okay, hi, my name is Jasleen, and these are things that I do as a
Single at-home wife. That better not be the words that come out of her mouth.
stay-at-home wife.
Okay, thank God.
Or sorry, I don't do. I don't cook.
Stay-at-home wife.
I don't clean. And I don't do my husband's laundry. I feel that I don't have to do things to justify or prove my worth that I'm allowed to do this.
Now, some may interpret this as just jokes, but she also frequently posts day in my life videos where she romanticizes her routine of doing essentially nothing all day long.
Oh my God. Lord, forgive me for saying your name in vain, but holy mother of, oh my gosh. You telling me his money is your money and your money is your money. You do not have a job and you don't do anything at the house either. Bro, I'm the same way. Like I'm not too big on gender roles either. But my nigga, if someone is at work and you're at home on an off day or you got the week off, nigga, you got to do something around the house. Vice versa. So for her to be not having a job at all and he has all the money and you not doing shit at home, oh my God, you can't even.
I actually do this. I just do this. Like, I sit here.
What do you actually do?
This.
Now, if this is the agreement this couple has in their relationship, then that's fine. It is what it is. Being a stay-at-home wife or mother,
Patrick, say Waylay, bro,
is absolutely nothing to be ashamed of. But it's the aggressive tone and entitlement she gives off that has earned her the label of a gold digger, something that she subtly implies to be.
Now, like, people are like, oh, that's gold digging or that's something. No, it's not.
Okay, then I'm digging.
Yeah.
If that wasn't bad enough, Jasleen frequently discusses other men that she would like to cheat on her husband with.
I never watched that show, but like he's on my hall pass list.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Chase Crawford, Jacob Elordi, Austin Butler.
Now, some people see the whole
that list was going still, by the way. The fact that she has 3 or more people on her hall pass is fucking nuts, bro. Do you even want a husband, bro?
celebrity crush thing as unserious because the celebrity feels so distant, so unreachable, that it's basically the same thing as fantasizing about a fictional character.
But if your husband is trying to be a comedian and gets to a point where he's successful and famous, then those people won't be just a thought. You might be able to sit at a table with some of these people.
Like, it's not really cheating because in their minds the situation is so unrealistic that it becomes harmless. Others see this as straight up openly admitting they'd hook up with someone else that wasn't their husband because celebrities are just people too, after all.
That's
him
true.
in that movie like did kind of like rewire my sexual.
But is that your type, Ranbir Kapoor?
Not anymore, but like he was so hot and tall, and he's like mera naam Bunny, like Bugs Bunny, and I was like, okay.
But Jasleen didn't just openly fantasize about sleeping with other famous men. She quite literally admitted to wanting to sleep with her co-host husband, Nav.
Would y'all ever have an together with your husband?
Priya, I'm actively trying to have an because this couple is so good looking, and you haven't seen Nav yet, but wait till you see him. His body goes crazy. His face card always slays, never declines. And it's kind of weird because I'm talking about your husband.
No, I kind of love it, but I'm like, us four? Okay, maybe.
I just know that Nav's dick is like at least 10 inches.
You would only be down for an orgy if
or it's thick. It's thick.
The original question was a joke about
There's something wrong with you too, girl. This girl is literally telling, oh, I bet your husband's dick is 10 inches or thick. My nigga, can you stop talking about my man? That's all you gotta say. That's all you gotta say, because I'm gonna tell you right now, none of my homeboys would ever do some shit like this, bro. None of my homeboys would ever say some shit like this because they know I would never let that shit fly, bro. I would never say some shit like that to my homeboys because I know they would never let that shit fly either. This is fucking gross.
all 4 of them sleeping together. However, Jasleen only talks about Nav and never mentions her own husband, even excluding him from the hypothetical and talking about a 3-person situation. Nahal clearly attempts to steer the conversation back to the dynamic being 4 people to respect Akaash, while Jasleen continues to fantasize about Nav. Once again, you could argue that Jasleen is just joking. But when you joke about something over and over again, especially in a short period of time, you start to wonder if there's a little bit of truth to that. Even while talking about her husband in a positive light, Jasleen can't help but imply that Nav is a better husband than her own. To make matters worse, only minutes later in the podcast, they bring their husbands on, where Akaash is forced to sit next to the man his wife was just fantasizing about having sex with, and she once again brings up having a threesome with Nahal and Nav while Akaash is sitting right there.
I'm a hustler. who scams a little bit. I'm not a scammer who
I'm not
hustles.
gonna lie, that was sexy, and that's why I'm actively trying to have an orgy.
Even at the end of the episode, Jasleen
Are we dead ass in front of your husband? I'd be damned, bro. That was low-key cheating right there in my book, bro. In my book, that was very close to cheating. I don't know if it was. I don't know how I feel about it because, bro, my girl would never do no shit like that. I know that for a fact. I can put all the money on my name on that, bro. But could you imagine you with your girl and some guy is talking? She's like, I'm not gonna lie, that was sexy. Bro, what the fuck? We going home, bro. Actually, matter of fact, you can stay here. You can find your own fucking ride home. Taking all my money. You can use your $600 you made from content creation and find a fucking Uber to your mom's house. You're not coming home.
once again, completely unprovoked, states that she wants to sleep with Nav.
On the main character pod, we love you, we hate you,
I
we
guess
respect
we
you.
love you, but I actually love you in one of all of you.
Bro, I know I'm pausing, bro.
But I actually love you in one of
her. Yo. His wife is sitting right next to you. Your husband is sitting right in front of you. And you just told him, I actually love you and wanna fuck. Are you dead fucking ass? And you're a fucking pushover because you're just laughing it off.
all of you.
You would be hard-pressed to make a compelling argument.
And look at who she's looking at. She's not looking at her man, by the way. She's not looking at her man. She is looking right at this nigga right here.
That Jasleen is only joking when she brought up this topic multiple times. And when we get to hear from Akaash directly about his perspective of their relationship, you almost get this sense of relief from him that he finally can express how he really feels about Jasleen's behavior.
When she's running 2 hours late to a dinner reservation that I worked really hard to get, and then I'm like, baby, we're running late, and she's like, are you kidding me? Do you know I don't give a if we're late to this dinner? They're lucky to have us. And I'm like, oh, that's what we're doing. #1 restaurant in the New York Times. You know how hard a reservation is?
She's like, call them right now. Call them right now. This is not a fun session.
I'm not even joking. This is how main character I am. I was like, Sema will be lucky that I would grace them with my presence tonight.
Jasleen seems to
she's so fucking dumb, bro. Oh my gosh. The nigga purposely left the name of the restaurant out. And then you gonna go and drop the name of the restaurant, bro.
think that being the main character means being as entitled and rude as possible, with no regard for anyone else's personal feelings. Stories like these demonstrate that Jasleen's selfish demeanor isn't just played up for laughs on a podcast, but exists within her real life as well. Akaash comes off visibly frustrated when talking about his wife's toxic behavior, turning it into a therapy session for him where he can finally let out his pent-up rage.
When I say I'm tired, she can't just let me be tired. I travel, I work, and I'm very blessed to do what I do.
He also has really bad insomnia.
I have really bad insomnia. I work 335 days a year. I'm so blessed to do what I do. This is not a complaint. But when I tell my wife I'm tired, I want her to say, I'm sorry, baby. I understand. That must be exhausting, buying me all these things. Instead, she goes, so am I. And if I dare open my mouth to go, what the did you do that made you tired? Now it's a problem. Now it's a fight. So I gotta sit there.
I went to Pilates.
Oh, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, yo, shut the fuck up, bro. That's exactly what he's saying, bro. This nigga is traveling, doing his career. He comes home, he's tired. And then you go, me too. All you did was Pilates today, bitch. We saw your day in the life. You do nothing all day. You just went to Pilates and did nothing. Fuck up.
Now, there definitely is a humorous delivery to the story that Akaash is telling, but it does seem to...
I'm like crashing out saying bitch and all this, bro. I'm sorry.
be rooted in genuine problems he has with his relationship. Jasleen displays an extremely selfish and entitled mindset, both on the podcast and in their real life. Are we really meant to believe that all of this is just funny, just jokes? Well, ironically, that's basically how Akaash justifies putting up with this behavior.
It's adorable when she does these things. Yeah. Like, I just look at it and here's the rule in our marriage. It's been unspoken, but now we're just saying it now that we're both making content. If it's funny, we're good. Like, if it's funny, and if it's not funny and it hurt the other person's feelings, you apologize, you move on.
Any logical person understands this is an extremely slippery slope, because literally anything can be passed off as a joke or an attempt to make a joke. Like this video she posted to...
Exactly. I was just about to get to that point, bro, because if the audience laughs, then you guys are going to be like, oh, that's okay. But then you're sitting there like, bro, that shit really fucking hurt my feelings. But just because the people in her comments are laughing about it now, we're good, because that's what I put into the air. As long as it's funny, we're good.
TikTok, where you can hear them both.
Shit, she could say some shit that's really fucked up, and she sees one LOL in the comment. Like, see, he said it's funny.
Chuckling from time to time, but it's clear they are both frustrated and quite literally just documenting themselves having an argument.
Do you know what my husband just tried to do to me?
Yeah.
We're leaving. Shut up. We're leaving in Paris in 5 hours, so tensions are a little high. Yeah. We also just redid our closet.
This is all her closet now.
I was just about to say, that looks like your shit.
The whole closet.
Which we already agreed upon.
And now she's saying she doesn't have no space.
And now I'm saying I don't have space.
You don't have space? Yo, push them fucking hangers back. You have so much space right here. What are you talking about?
For all my...
Push the fucking hangers back.
I don't have space for... Can you show?
Yeah.
I don't have space for...
You're fucking joking, bro. You're fucking joking, bro. Push the hangers back, bro.
For all my Indian suits, because I like my dresses spaced out. Do you know what Akaash just did?
Here you go. Watch this. Oh my God.
I'm not doing that.
It's that. You know how much space he just created by pushing your hangers together? I cannot believe what I'm looking at.
Space exists.
I'm not doing that.
So what do you want to do? You want to buy a separate house with all hangers?
No.
In another video, she documents her being stressed out about packing for a lavish vacation in the wealthiest area of America, which is only a 3-hour drive from their apartment.
Okay, so me and my husband are supposed to leave tonight to go to the Hamptons for 2 weeks, and I haven't even packed anything yet. So I was just like, I'm really stressed. Like, I don't want to go tonight because I still have to pack. I haven't even started. I have to finish my laundry.
Bro, this is bad, bro. She's so unrelatable, it's ridiculous. She's so unrelatable, it's ridiculous, bro. What do you mean today drained me because you have to pack for the Hamptons? Are we dead ass? Now, I'm not saying packing can't be stressful, especially for women, because they want to find the right outfit, this, that, and the third. They want to bring... Women overpack. We know this, bro. But... you going to the Hamptons, y'all going on vacation, which otherwise, if you weren't going on vacation, you wouldn't be doing anything anyway, bro. Oh my Lord.
Really, I know this.
And she's complaining about it. It's not like, oh guys, I'm just a little exhausted because I was packing today, so excuse that, blah, blah, blah. No, she's making it a whole fucking thing.
It was a really hard day. What'd you do again?
Oh, today?
Yeah.
I had a mani-pedi.
Oh, wow, that's so stressful.
Wait, and I had a massage.
It's real. How's
What the fuck? Yo, that ass, bro, she can't be real. Like, I'm really trying my hardest not to disrespect your wife, bro. But, like, yo, she cannot be real, bro. You telling me she went and got a massage today and a manicure and a pedicure, and she's saying today drained her? That's a spa day.
stressful to go to the Hamptons for 2 weeks.
And then go to the Hamptons, like, oh my.
The Hamptons. Hawaii.
Akaash puts up with Jasleen's selfish behavior and entitlement because he thinks they are just cute jokes. But it clearly isn't just jokes. Jasleen even says that Akaash's birthday is her least favorite day of the year because it's the only day she can't be mean to him.
Okay, May the 4th is Akaash's birthday. And
May the 4th be with you.
Yes.
Yeah, and every year I dread it because I have to be nice the whole day, and I have to get him something, and I have to also be nice and do like acts
said
of
that twice.
kindness.
She said,
really
she said that
not
twice.
okay with
You know,
it.
she said that twice.
She's really not okay with it.
Okay, go ahead.
Well, it's really hard
For her, it's really hard.
for me.
She needs to just,
Listen, I'm just used to being treated like a princess all day, every day. So that one day that I don't,
Oh, what torture.
yeah.
Akaash is the Indian Will Smith.
No. Will Smith is better off than Akaash, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. Will Smith has it better, bro. Because there is no fucking... Because at least Jada it does something, right? She actually does stuff. As bad as, the whole shit, bro, she actually works. She acted. She did this. She did that. She made her own career, blah, blah, blah. Right? Saying you hate your man's birthday because it's the only day of the year where you have to be nice to him. You hate... Hold on. Sorry, y'all. My headphones are falling apart, bruh. My headphones are falling apart. I'm gonna get some new ones, but at the moment, it's pretty fucking bad. It's pretty bad. I think it's on its last legs, bruh. These are beautiful headphones. They're Steel Series. I'd recommend them to anybody, bruh. 10 out of 10 headphones. Best headphones I've ever had. What was I saying? You're saying you hate your husband's birthday because you have to be nice to him. The fact that you're saying you have to be nice is ridiculous. That means 364 days out of the year, you're an asshole to him. I mean, wow.
Bro, Akaash married the girl Fresh and Fit warned you not to marry. She's the embodiment of what Fresh and Fit said to avoid. Akaash's rejection of Fresh and Fit's ideology now looked more like a defensive response born out of insecurity, considering her previous comments about her cheating on her husband, the unapologetically consumerist lifestyle that he funds, and the clear unsettling tension she has with Akaash made many question what her true motives were in the relationship. Many viewed Jasleen as a gold digger who had no actual emotional or romantic tie to the man that she married, and these sentiments would only grow stronger as people took notice of a very strange pattern of behavior, that being her tendency to avoid
kissing the nigga, bro. You know how terrible that is? This nigga pays for everything. He buys you anything you want. The least you could do is give the nigga a kiss.
Kissing Akaash, and even straight up dodging his kisses when he tries to initiate.
I don't know.
She's a good liar.
Then she's a good liar.
That's a friend that lies for you. And not to you.
And this was not just a one-time occurrence. Entire compilations have been created showing just how often Jasleen avoids kissing her own husband. To make matters worse, not only did she dodge a kiss from Akaash during their marriage proposal, but she also dodged his kiss a second time when he proposed to have their vows renewed. But Jasleen says it's nothing more than her being uncomfortable with public displays of affection.
I'll also respond to the people saying I don't like my husband because I turned away from a kiss. I've never liked PDA, physical touch. I find it really overstimulating. And so it's something I actually work through with my husband because that's his love language.
Now, having issues with PDA are extremely common. However, it is worth considering all of the other things Jasleen has no problem doing on camera.
Did you see that when after she turned her face like this, she did this? She did this. As soon as she turned her, as soon as he was done kissing her, she said like this. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God, bro.
He proposed to have their vows renewed, but things Jasleen has no problem doing on camera. She's constantly talking about sex on her podcast and on her TikTok, not to mention
that is a fact. What the fuck is that? He's right. Patrick's right. You can't say you don't like PDA and then talk about the shit you talking about. There's no fucking way, bro. There's no way.
And the fact that she posted an entire video where she is clearly not wearing any pants, getting treatment for a bruise she got during sex. And as if it couldn't get worse, she also flirts with the doctor.
Also, I heard you're single. Is that true?
We'll go back to treating.
So she has no problem posting herself having very graphic conversations, half-naked videos of herself, and flirting with other men, but she draws the line at giving her own husband a kiss. Just doesn't really make sense. Not only did Jasleen look extremely shady, it now seemed like she was perfectly comfortable with lying about her relationship to make herself look better. And it turns out she wasn't just lying to her small audience, she was also lying to her own husband as well. Now, Jasleen constantly claiming that she has main character energy is particularly interesting. This is supposed to mean that you are liberated from others' judgment and confident in yourself. But for some, saying you have main character energy is just an acceptable way to admit that you are a narcissist. And narcissists tend to lie about everything, which is why many refused to believe Jasleen when she said that she was a virgin before meeting Akaash.
Oh, that's cap.
Akaash has previously stated that he...
That's cap, bro. Especially when you just said that thing at the beginning, you pop your shit for all those frat boys. Yeah, that's cap, bro.
And Jasleen were both virgins before they met.
My wife also hadn't had any partner, so that helped us connect a lot more.
Now, let me ask you this: do you believe her?
If you've seen her, then it's hard to believe.
Yeah.
I remember I was just like, what?
Jasleen, in a separate podcast, made the same statement.
I was at the point where I was ready, because I don't know if you told her, because I was...
Oh, no, I didn't know you were a virgin, too.
So I was a virgin, too, when I met him.
However, posts made by Jasleen herself tell a completely different story, like the one where she reminisces on the days she spent in college, passing herself around to other men.
Sometimes I get so painfully nostalgic for college. So for context, I went to college from 2011 to 2016. I was popping my and living my best life in these white boy frat houses, and I had a roster of guys that I would rotate.
Now, technically, she doesn't say that she was sleeping with them, but it is heavily implied. And despite many feeling like they caught her in a lie, she surprisingly doubled down in response to the criticism, claiming that she did in fact lose her virginity to Akaash. Even though Jasleen has disabled the comments on her social media, preventing anyone from criticizing her on her own page.
Imagine. How did I know she was gonna be that type, bro? That's like Marvel Rivals when the niggas who talk the most shit got their profile hidden, bro. The niggas who do terrible in the game and then talk the most shit got their profile hidden. This is exactly what this is, bro.
She still sees the backlash, and her justification for acting the way she does online just makes everything so much worse. Jasleen has made a few public responses on her TikTok where she claims that she is being canceled, which is funny because she has nothing to be canceled from. She has no show to be fired from, no brand deal to lose, no job, no platform that anyone could realistically take away from her. In the last few years, cancel culture has become such a buzzword that people will use as a shield against any form of criticism.
Yeah.
If an influencer or celebrity frames their criticism as, oh, they're just trying to cancel me, a certain group of viewers will immediately jump to their defense without doing any research. They hear the word cancel and assume it's just another example of people online trying to ruin someone's life for no reason. But Jasleen is the one who decided to blurt out all of this stuff about her relationship for the internet, and she's being criticized for it. It's that simple. But she mostly chalks up all the negative attention to just coming from red pillars and incels trying to cancel her because she doesn't fit the traditional wife role.
When you're a simple little boy, it just breaks their brain that a girl can like just be loved for simply existing. My husband loves me for simply existing. I don't have to cook or clean to justify my worth.
Now, nobody is saying that she needs...
That's not how you justify your worth, girl. That's not what niggas is saying. It's the fact that, like, bro, the way you handle yourself when you're not around your husband, and even with your husband around, is not wife behavior, bro.
To cook and clean and fit some 1950s idea of a trad wife to have value. The issue is that publicly romanticizing other men, joking about cheating, and openly fantasizing about life before your husband
Exactly. Patrick, I couldn't have said it better myself, bro.
Isn't empowerment, it's disrespect. It's not about gender roles, it's about basic partnership and companionship. And her mentality and behavior influencing others is potentially harmful to relationships or even single people all around the world. Her second response came a few days later, after people had thoroughly scrubbed through her digital footprint. Jasleen should have realized at this point that it was more than just incels coming after her, but she does make an interesting point about the criticism she was receiving.
Why are you mad if me and my husband are cool with each other, if we both make jokes at each other's expense? The difference is my husband will go on stage and say whatever the he wants about me. No one has anything to say. It's like, oh my God, it's so funny, it's so relatable. But then I come on TikTok and I make jokes, and now you have a problem because I don't have a mic in my hand?
Ironically, yes. If she did have a microphone in her hand, it would be way different. If she was trying to make it as a stand-up comic and her material focused around her being a gold digger or cheating on her husband, people would likely assume that she's being self-deprecating and not to take her as seriously. Because
I was about to say, because that's a joking setting. You're a comedic, but you're on TikTok filming days in the life or just like a regular conversation you're having with your husband. That's different. Also, on top of that, I'm pretty sure the shit you saying about your husband is not in the same way compared to what he's saying about you on that stage.
Because when you are on stage with a mic, people understand that it is a form of performance art that was thought about, written, practiced, and perfected over
I just said that. Not exactly the way he said, but like I said that.
time. But she isn't selling herself as a comedian. Her podcast is branded as Unfiltered Girl Talk, which implies that Jasleen is offering her honest thoughts and feelings while present. Not to mention that the same things she tries to pass off as jokes, she also attempts to justify as valid opinions she genuinely has. Also, her TikTok is quite literally a behind-the-scenes look at her real life and real dynamics with her husband. She is picking and choosing what should be considered as jokes and what is serious to again deflect criticism. This is likely the exact same thing she does to Akaash in their personal relationship, which is why he doesn't even realize he is being disrespected and humiliated. Akaash certainly complains about his relationship while doing stand-up.
My wife, objectively gorgeous. Me, nah. So that's what you gotta do. I gotta work my ass off, and then every time she starts looking at me and she starts assessing my beauty, I just throw a bag at that. Chest pass! I'm telling you, ladies, if you have a good guy, do you know what he needs? A vacation. You hear it all the time. A relationship is hard work. Marriage is a job. Well, every good job gives you 2 weeks vacation. And if you have a good man, I promise you I know what his dream vacation is. Because every good guy's dream vacation is your vacation. Go somewhere. Go anywhere you want.
But in a more personal setting, like a podcast for example, Akaash is significantly more graceful when talking about his wife.
She just says everything she's feeling at whatever moment. It's done. She just tells me when she's pissed off at me. It just all comes out. It took me a while to appreciate that because initially I'm like, why are you so combative? What's this about? God damn, stop fighting with me all the time. And then I was like, oh no, she just lets it out and she's free. All these little social niceties that we all do where we just lie.
Bro took the simping crown from Will Smith. Feeling the pressure from all the backlash, Akaash started interrupting his stand-up performances to talk about social media drama. As one fan wrote, I went to the 7 p.m. show last night and it was extremely awkward. He was clearly not processing the situation well and he ended the set 20 minutes early. He spent the first 10 to 15 minutes of the set talking about the controversy, how his wife has been loyal to him, and everything she has been saying is just jokes and is fine with him. No one in the crowd knew how to take this information, and I truly believe that the majority of fans there had no idea any of this was going on. This only made him spending like 1/3 of his set on it even more awkward. He then proceeded to jokingly call his wife a every time he brought her up, which was just not helping. I think it ruined his whole set and the mood never recovered, which I think is why he ended early. Other fans recalled a similar experience, and they all seemed to share the sentiment that Akaash was clearly rattled by the ordeal and his performance was suffering as a result. One fan even claimed that he asked beforehand if the crowd had heard about the drama and was relieved to find out most of them hadn't. Someone else recorded a recent performance Akaash did in which he tries to explain why he thinks his wife isn't what the internet says she is.
There's people calling your wife a gold digger and all these other things. It's a shame. So I'm going to tell one story that I have never even told her, honestly. My wife and I met in 2014. I was not making much money. I was getting $25 a night doing stand-up. I was on MTV shows that paid dog shit money. But then in 2018, I went flat broke. 34 years old, I probably made $4,000 that entire year. And we couldn't even afford the living room we lived in New York City. Me and her sleeping on a hardwood floor. I'm 34 years old. She's 25 years old. I'm looking at this girl like, man, you could go be with an Indian who's a doctor. I have nothing to give her. It's just a light jacket. It's like October. We have nothing. So I hand her the jacket, and then she said, what's this for? I said, you can use that as a pillow. And then she goes, well, what are you going to use? And I said, I'll figure it out. She handed me back the jacket. She goes, you take this. And then she laid with her head on my chest and her arm around me the entire night. And I remember thinking in that moment, I don't know if I'm going to be able to marry this girl because I'm so broken. I'm in such a bad place and it's a dark time in my life. but I know I will never find a girl that loves me this much ever again.
Now this paints the narrative of a girl who was loyal to the core to a man who was at his lowest moment, and therefore deserves the fruits of his success. But there is a few key details that he left out, because shortly after this story that Akaash explained of them sleeping on the floor, Jasleen did actually leave him, but then came back to him when his career was revived.
Wow! Oh my lord, it just gets worse every fucking minute. It gets worse every minute. Holy shit. He left out the part where she actually did leave him until he started making money. Oh my fuck.
Akaash says that he made nearly no money during the first 4 years of their relationship and then went broke in 2018. However, they both have publicly claimed that he was making a 6-figure salary in 2017.
He was getting a lot of work from MTV. Like his first show was Wildin' Out, and then he did Guy Code, and he was just like on a bunch of MTV shows, and he was able to like reach a 6-figure salary, which at the time was really huge for us. But then in 2018, like all of the opportunities started to dry up. He was kind of aging out of the MTV bracket, and he wasn't really getting any attention from the industry. So he was pretty much losing all his income. And at the same time, I was working a really toxic job with like a toxic manager and like working till 2 a.m. And it just caused a lot of stress on our relationship.
I had like 7 MTV shows. I wasn't making crazy money. I was making like low 6 figures. But my girlfriend at the time, she moved into our place, and then all of a sudden, end of 2017, all the shows started suddenly getting canceled one by one. So I went from making like a low 6 figures, nothing crazy, but 6 figures in 2017 to 2018, probably making like $4,000 for the whole year. I'm not even exaggerating.
Jasleen actually did end up dumping Akaash during this dark time, sparked by what she claims was a fight between her and Akaash's mother. Then the two eventually got back together months later, and conveniently enough, Akaash's Flagrant podcast was just starting to blow up and was making $10,000 a month in Patreon revenue. Akaash and
Ooh, boy, that's sad. And the fact that you didn't see that is even worse. I understand she like kind of stood by you for a little bit, but like, bro, you were already making a lot of money. You made 6 figures that year. The year before you made 4,000. So yeah, you were struggling, but like, you wasn't broke, Nick. Like, you wasn't $0, bro. And she left you. And then she came back when you started making $10K a month again. Bro.
Jasleen finally decided to sit down and address all of the backlash on the Flagrant podcast. Andrew and the guys created this trial where they pretended to investigate Jasleen and ask her all of the tough questions that the internet is demanding answers to. What's funny is that everyone seems to be enjoying this besides Akaash. He is easily the least animated one throughout the pod and seems like he just wants to get this thing over with. Now the two didn't say anything that we haven't heard before. Jasleen basically chalks everything up to being just a joke or exaggerated because most people don't contextualize her background and upbringing.
Have you ever heard of the repressed Catholic schoolgirl?
Never.
I was, yeah, you know. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was.
His Catholic school was in his living room. Imagine how repressed he was.
I was a repressed Indian girl that I didn't even watch Jersey Shore in high school because I felt it to be too inappropriate. So when I got to college, I'm like, oh my God, I can dress however I want. I can do whatever I want.
You can have a roster of frat boys.
But
what does a roster mean?
So it didn't actually translate to a roster. It just meant like 2 guys I was talking to and flirting with at the
You're a fucking liar, bro. I don't know if you getting on the internet to just like big up yourself or something like that, but you're fucking lying in your husband's face, bro.
Same time. That's it.
That's all.
Yeah.
And when you say hooking up, I think people
when
think you
I
meant...
mean I just meant making out. Again, like everything I say is so amplified and hyperbolic because it's so like incongruous to who I actually am as a person.
Right. So you're saying you're a big old prude.
Yeah, literally.
Throughout the episode, Akaash is kind of bullying and teasing her constantly as if this is to prove that they do it.
That was fire. That was fire. I can't lie.
Akaash is kind of bullying and teasing her constantly as if this is to prove that they do it to each other and it's not just a one-sided thing, even though on podcasts before this, he is typically more graceful towards her and is not just outright calling her a bitch.
Yeah. She's actually made a non-cooking ass.
God, you can make that?
Schema. This,
Really?
This useless.
You can't do that. Come on, Akaash, bro. You can't be calling your wife a bitch, bro. That's just. I don't know how niggas do that, bro. I really don't. Like, even in like when I was growing up, oh, this my bitch. Whoa, nigga, whoa.
Saying this with all due respect, please.
You gotta say with all due respect.
Why?
I guess it's your wife.
I thought the internet was right about everything.
No.
Golding a woman.
Yeah. Okay, so you can make all these things.
Yeah.
One of the more interesting moments was when the two discussed her bringing up and being so persistent about having an with her co-host's husband.
Shit.
And again, she said it was just a joke, but in the middle of that, she remained firm in her stance that she was a virgin, and even Andrew was surprised.
So if she had a body count, I would have been like, hey, cut that. But because she doesn't, and I know how like innocent she actually is.
Oh, you are a virgin? That's real?
I was a virgin until I met him, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They don't believe that one bit.
And if she wasn't, that body count thing, I'd have been like, what are we doing here?
Right.
Because I would have been insecure about it. But I can be, not that I'm so secure, but it with.
Bro, the fact that you're insecure about her having sex with other men before you is probably the reason why she's lying about it. I'm not gonna lie.
That joke, I'm like so secure.
Oh, I absolutely would feel insecure.
And I think stupidly, I was like, oh, it's all of us. It's not like talking.
Yeah, that is stupid.
Yeah.
But the 87,000 dislikes on the video says that the viewers were not exactly believing whatever they were saying. Are they trying to convince us or themselves? Akaash still believes her body count is saying. Are they
This comment has more likes than the video, bro.
trying to convince us or themselves? Akaash still believes her body count is 1. At this point, someone needs to interview one of those frat boys. The fake laughing is almost corporate level.
Fact.
That being said, it seems like Akaash genuinely believes his wife is out of his league. He said publicly that she is far more attractive than any woman he thought he could ever get. When you feel lucky just to be with someone, you start letting things slide that would normally hurt you. You convince yourself the jokes don't mean anything. The disrespect isn't real. And the public humiliation is just content. Jasleen behaves like—
Know your worth, King. Know your worth, King. Because remember, if you were to let her go right now, she'd be back to making $600 from her content creation and living at her mama's house, and you would still be rich. Probably richer because you don't have to spend all this money on her shit, bro. Just know.
like someone who assumes she'll be forgiven no matter what. So she has no reason to self-reflect on her behavior because her husband doesn't push back. You can only see where this will lead. Eventually, Akaash won't be able to supply her demands. The vacations aren't enough. The house isn't big enough. The clothes aren't expensive enough. The bedroom activities aren't enough. And that stuff is hard enough to deal with privately. Now he has to run the risk of her expressing all of these frustrations publicly on her TikTok and podcast. It seems that Jasleen is a product of a generation that confuses on-screen dysfunctionality with personality, treating toxic characters as an aesthetic role model with main character energy.
Like, the closest character to me is probably Maddie from Euphoria.
Maddie from Euphoria
That's
is a
bad.
character best known for her engagement in toxic relationships and selfish personality, oftentimes
bad.
emotionally harming other people to get what she wants. So it's interesting that Jasleen says she can
bro, that's such a bad comparison, bro.
only act as Maddie because she can only act like herself. Jasleen does not see Maddie as a problematic teenage girl. She sees her as a diva and an icon. And resonates with her as
same wavelength, Patrick. I was gonna say icon, bro.
a result. If someone has a problem with her behavior, then they're just an incel, or a red pillar, or a misogynist. But if the pushback comes from someone that she loves, like her friend or her husband, then, oh, it's just jokes. It kind of reminds me of what's called the narcissist's prayer. That didn't happen. And if it did, it wasn't that bad. And if it was, that's not a big deal. And if it is, that's not my fault. And if it was, I didn't mean it. And if I did, you deserved it. During their initial podcast appearance, Fresh and Fit discussed the concept of men having leverage in their relationships. And while their opinions were a lot more skewed to men having the financial and emotional power over their partner, the core idea underneath it is much simpler. Respect. Any Any normal person understands that a relationship is supposed to be 50-50, which doesn't have to mean equal income. It means equal effort, equal care, equal consideration. But in this marriage, Jasleen holds all the emotional power because Akaash fears she will just leave him for someone else. And the truth is, she could. She could get someone more successful, more handsome, and he will deal with all of her shortcomings. At some point, Akaash will have to draw a line, and only then will he truly figure out if his wife is just joking or not. I can only hope that this type of love never finds any of you. This relationship dynamic is eerily similar to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith, who put all of their extremely nonsensical and strange ways of justifying their broken marriage on full display. But if you want to hear more about that, check out this video.
W Patrick, bro. Damn, this reaction was long, bro. 50 minutes. I had a lot to say because this shit was pissing me off just to look at, bro. Oh my gosh. This guy wifed up the first girl that talked to him. Damn. I have secondhand humiliation. You telling me, bro? Oh, dude has a third wheel energy in his own relationship. Jesus. Oh, Lord. Hey, man, this is bad, bro. Hey, this is bad, bro.